There come a time when the nation is more important than an individual.
Indeed, Kenya has been towards a trajectory of electoral reforms. Up to date, when it's having its 13th substantive general election, each of them has been defined by preceding events, themes and challenges. However, 25 years after the country got its independence, a new system was introduced for the primary elections. The Mlolongo system, or fairly known as the queue system, that involved party members lining up behind their preferred candidate. But that resulted to massive accusations of voter intimidation and a mockery of justice. During the 1992 elections, the US Embassy provided the indelible ink and launched what was known as Ink Your Finger for a clean election.
At Nairobi, the Duke of Edinburgh and Mr.
In an attempt to end voter fraud, but the script read the same as the 1988 election. Come 2002, Kenya arguably had the most credible election it has ever held. No one contested the election that saw Mwai Kibaki take a resounding lead against his closest competitor, Uhuru Kenyatta.
I accept the choice of the people, and in particular, now concede that Mr. Mwai Kibaki will be the third president of the Republic of Kenya.
2007 elections threatened to tear apart our democracy, with the Electoral Commission of Kenya, ECK, being at the fore of this quagmire.
Nilikuwa nasukuma na PNU leo na kule chini tulipokuwa. Wale PNU na ODMK wanasema atangaza matangazo leo. Sasa ikawa ni kuwei which one inaweza kuleta, which one is better. Mimi nikaona mimi ni mtu kwa kitu, kuna kitu kimoja kibaya kwangu ama kizuri. Mimi upendelea kukata kauli mara moja kwa alafu nawacha maneno yafanyike vile inafanyika.
The catastrophic management and fraud within the vote tallying process was so severe that the then ECK chairman Samuel Kivuitu disowned his own announcement.
Do you believe that Mwai Kibaki fairly won the election?
I don't know until I see eventually the record.
Civil unrest in the aftermath of Kenya's 2007 presidential elections and the election anomalies reported as a result prompted the government of Kenya to completely overhaul its system of managing elections. The Interim Independent Electoral Commission (IEC) was formed to replace the Electoral Commission of Kenya and was charged with the mission to institutionalize sustainable electoral processes that will guarantee free, fair elections, as well as conduct a referendum for a new constitution. The Commission now had 12 months from December 2009 to discharge its mandate, and alternatively, it will cease to exist 3 months after the new constitution came into effect.
It's important for the commissioners to heed that advice and to do the right thing, and it's important for the country to move on, to establish a new electoral body to effect that's going to be appropriately independent, as called for in the Kriegler Commission.
Why do you want to disband us? We never beat anybody.
In that case, the new constitution will provide for a permanent successor to the electoral body, now the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (Iebc), which will take up the role of reforms. The boundaries for all the electoral areas were to be drawn by an Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The Iebc was led by Isaac Hassan and deputized by Lilian Mahiri Zaja, and 9 other commissioners had their mandate clear-cut with the promulgation of the new constitution. First things first was to embark on the Kriegler report that castigated the manual transmission of results, and this was to be replaced by the electronic biometric voter kits in preparation for the 2013 elections. Consequently, most of the biometric voter registration kits failed during the March 2013 elections, which was an echo of the irregularities recorded in the previous election.
Bado sijapiga sababu hiyo problem ya kutafuta majina. Nimetafuta siku 2-3 ikakuwa pressure ni mingi na watu hawana mpangilio sababu ya kuwa huyu anatoka pande anaenda pande watu ile stream sasa ya kuwa well organized.
The main presidential challenger Raila Odinga went to court but failed to overturn the results, and that marked the woes of the commission with the opposition. The then-called coalition held protests in several towns seeking the removal of Iebc commissioners from office over claims of overseeing malpractices in the 2013 elections. The protests now came to be known as Iebc Tear Gas Monday, so the commission bowed to pressure and vacated office. Interviews were conducted and the process to select new commissioners was initiated, with Wafula Chebukati chosen to lead the commission, deputized by Consolata Nkatha and 7 other commissioners. Team coming into office at least 7 months to the August 2017 general elections.
I, Wanyonyi Wafula Chebukati, having been appointed chairperson to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
Hi, Consolata Nkatha Butcher Maina, having been appointed as a member of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, do solemnly swear.
Hand in hand with that was the Joint Select Committee tasked to come up with a mechanism in electoral reforms. After various meetings at the Windsor Hotel, the electronic system framework was actualized. Some of the amendments targeting the electronic voting system were watered down in the Contentious Elections Act that saw the law passed amid protests from the opposition MPs saying the act would allow dead voters to vote.
The Speaker of the House is the most insincere person, because there is only one way out of this, the problem we have. The way out is simply this. This was a negotiated document. It was discussed with the committee and agreed, and we said we'll pass it without a change. If there is a problem with it, there's only one way out. They have to take it back to that committee.
The bill was, however, signed into law gearing for the 2017 August election. A Kenya Integrated Electronic Management System known as KEMS was introduced by the now Chebukati-led team.
This is the whole package that we are going to use.
However, in an unexpected twist of events, the ICT manager Chris Musando, charged with the KEMS system, was found dead a week to the polls, a move that plunged the commission into panic mode.
So I appeal to all our employees countrywide to be calm as we go through this period of mourning with the family. The family has lost, IEBC has lost. Chris was one of the most dedicated employees of IEBC in the ICT sector.
Nevertheless, elections took place on the 8th of August and President Uhuru Kenyatta was declared winner.
Fulfilled the requirement by law and having garnered 8,203,290 votes, representing 54.27% of the votes and 25% in 35 counties, I therefore wish to declare Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta
Events preceding led the country to uncertainty after the Supreme Court annulled the presidential election over massive irregularities and illegalities.
Be able to deal with that.
The opposition was at it again, calling for the resignation of at least 12 officials whom they say bungled the poll. Political grandstanding emerged, with the two main political contenders unable to strike a truce even after consultative meetings with the commission. Sooner than later, the NASA coalition announced weekly demos to pile pressure on the resignation of the IEBC officials. Demos that were soon outlawed by the internal security. NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga's withdrawal from the race further left the commission in limbo. This even as claims of division among commissioners continue to raise speculation in them conducting a fresh poll. The fresh polls are now here with us, and the Commission has to battle new laws on the electoral law amendment that were passed by the 12th Parliament that will see a complementary backup system used in case of failure of the electronic transmission of results.
That is the second time verification.
The question is, however, will the Commission get it right this time? Dina Matengo, Iebc TV.